Josh Allen is married and the Knicks fired a guy, which is kind of crazy. This is Analytics Are for the Nerds. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Once again, gentlemen, I'm sorry about losing your boner. So sorry.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101, it's very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet, his white feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth,
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet.
I gotta tell you, I am, you know this about me, I've been around for 20 years, you know I'm like 15 years late to a trend, but I'm also like 10 years before the next trend. I could rock out a visor, I think. I could rock it every day, and not for a long time, because eventually that trend will spill again, but I think tomorrow I can go out and people are like, he's rocking it. He's doing it right. He's doing it.
Hair and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So, welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
So good, friends. Look at us. Hello, everyone. I have a new ring.
You legit know. I in my head was like, Allie is too bashful, and she won't ever like. I'm gonna need to bring up the fact that her hand's a little bit heavier, but no, you just are bling blinging.
Yes,
you got your third ring already.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Anyone who went to public school knows about tinfoil.
I didn't see that. That's so great. But
Ryan, tinfoil is something you wrap your peanut butter and jelly with occasionally. Louis knows what I'm talking about. Yes, I don't get my so the Buffalo Bandits are world champions again, three-peat, which is a phrase that has been it's a phrase that you can't use in public because it's what is that called when it's
a jinx?
It's copyrighted.
Okay. Yeah.
It's copyrighted because the Knicks from the 80s, which is kind of funny because the Knicks just finally, we'll get into that in a second. But yes, the Bandits won. We are back-to-back champions. Kind of amazing. Lovely. The final game, which was a game 3, 300,000 viewers, which is bonkers. And then throughout the season, 6 sellout crowds for the Bandits, and over 250,000 people showed up to KeyBank Center for these games, which is just amazing. So my new ring comes in December. I think we discussed, I'll get a trashy pinky ring because it's so excessive. But what a season. And man, those players, long live lacrosse, man. That game is tough. And shout out to Saskatchewan, who we played against and are an amazing team. They're so tough. And thank God that the Bandits are a good team and killed it. So anyway, did you guys watch? Hello, check 1, 2.
I was there. I was tuned in for you. And to support something that's obviously great for your career. So I loved seeing the fact that you got that success. It was a fun ride. I wish I could have made any of the games this year. Like me and Rye tried a few times. I think we said if only we knew anybody, Rye, who could have got us.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Maybe a ticket or two. Maybe we would have been able to take it in, but we were always out on the second market, and tickets were always so much, so we didn't make it. But one day, maybe we'll know somebody with not one, not 2, but 3 rings.
3. Look at that. Yeah. I will say I try to. So when I got to go on the field, like I get to do after the game, and they gave out these like kind of newspapers that they were like there's images on either side. Inside was blank, so they're more for show. And people were like, give me your newspaper. And I was like, I literally have to buy my own merch. Can I please have one thing? And they're like, look. And I was like, but what an amazing ride. And it's cool what's happening with lacrosse. I love that there's so much more attention to it. Pat McAfee has been showcasing Bandit players throughout the week. And it's really fun. And I'm excited. I know it sounds cheesy, but I know we have listeners all across the country, and Buffalo is so ready for a Stanley Cup and a Super Bowl win. We are so close, guys. And I'm telling you, as a Bandits person, as a lacrosse fan, as a hockey fan and football fan, it's amazing. It's going to happen. And it's just give us a moment. We're going to get it. But man, it's great being on the winning side of this team. I've done literally nothing to make it happen. And I love that I can take some credit. I'm telling you, the team, the staff, the players, just an amazing organization to work for. And
listen, you're talking about the Stanley Cup here. I would take just a few sunny days in a row. That's all I want right now. Just give me a few warm sunny days. That's all I want.
It's 100%. Like, you don't have to ask a lot. Ryan and I talked about that on our other podcast the other day. Is just, man, if anything is showing how much the city is just dying for that hockey team to be good. I have a buddy that, was at that game. You've met Allie at our last comedy show, and he was at the championship game, and he's like, all this, I love it. And he goes, I love lacrosse and I love the atmosphere. He goes, but all this makes me want is just Sabres playoff game. That's it. Because we miss that environment. Like, just look at how crazy it's been in there for your run. And I know you stick up for it. I'm not downplaying the sport, but it's not what the NHL is. And just, so it's really, I think you hit it on the head. Is just like Buffalo just begging for something to root for. And then it was just such great timing, right? Because then they got hot here these last 3 years, and they really, sold out for almost every game 3 years straight. Like, that's awesome.
It's wild because we're so close in so many ways, and so many teams. Again, if you are listening from another city, and your team is close, like you're usually 6 games away, which is just someone wasn't playing hard for 3 minutes, and sports is so great. But a lot of people talked about how the next big celebration they would love to have is with the Sabres. So anyone who's listening, the other thing is, though, there's a lot of talk about, and I know we are from Buffalo, but we are a everyone podcast. But a lot of people are saying that Buffalo has the best schedule and that we are potentially only going to lose, or the Buffalo Bills will only lose one game this season. And I don't love that statistic. I don't like people. I'm so crushed as a Bills fan that I don't want anyone to talk about us. I want us to have a 1:00 scheduled game and then just crush it that way. I don't need prime time. I don't need a Thursday night. I don't need a Monday night. I don't need Sunday at 8. I just want to have a 1:00 and then constantly win. And people forget that we're good, so it's very stressful. And it's
favored in every game this year. The favorites are the odds are out for every single game, and they're favored for every game. That's awesome.
But it's exhausting, and I don't want that to happen. So no one pick Josh Allen as your QB. Myself will pick him, but
no. If they're favored to win, all of their games. Let's say, what that means? What they're probably going to win? 13 games, 13-4, something like that. I don't know.
I think the schedule is honestly the best it's lined up for them in the Josh Allen era. It really, and again, you can't ever say that in the beginning of the year, though. How many times in the year you look at the schedule and like, oh, this is an easy schedule. Well, then the 5-11 team from last year is now 12-4, and the teams switch, go back and forth so much in parity that you really can't look at a schedule before the year and be like, this is a cake schedule. Yeah. But even if you want to just forget about the teams, I think they're the least or second least miles traveled team. They're not traveling a lot of miles. They're staying really close. I don't know, man. This year is really lining up for Josh. But now he's married, and so it's gonna ruin everything. I think.
No, I think it's well.
Go ahead.
I will say this too. If you are a podcaster that you're representing a team, everyone has a friend who is so I'm a Bills fan. We talk about stuff. Everyone knows someone who went to the wedding. If you are if you are in a Sabres podcast, you should know someone on the team, is all I'm saying. So if you're in a Bills podcast, you should know someone who went to the wedding. And so since I know someone, if you guys don't, we all know that person. I'm just going to say, so we're fine. But
wait, we all know a person that was at the wedding?
You guys don't, but since I do, I'm taking credit for all of us. And I heard it was a beautiful, lovely wedding. And oh my
gosh,
how
quickly she said that. Like, she didn't even ask. She don't even know. You don't know that. You just determined that.
My friend Bill went to the wedding, and he said it was so beautiful.
I'm not saying that you didn't have a friend there. I'm saying you assumed very fucking quickly that we didn't have a friend.
Well, I'm covering your ass. It's like when you go to a birthday party and I know you didn't buy a present, and I'm like, this is from Louie.
Yeah, you put my name on it last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ryan probably actually was like, I was the minister. And we're like, yo. And Ryan wins Ryan wins the draft for no reason. We're like, Ryan wasn't even there. But I don't know. So congratulations to the happy couple. But do I do this as my Tyreek Hill? Now divorcing his wife of a while, was seen out at a resort and with talking to a lady. And this is kind of everything and nothing. Everything and nothing is a little pop culture, everyone, if you're new to our podcast. But Tyreek Hill was in a pool. Okay to him, but wearing a tank top in the water, talking to a little lady friend. So I'm all for, here's my new thing. I'm all for men covering up in the bathing area. You know what? Us women, we always got to cover up because of sexism, whatever. But you know what? Men deserve a time to now wear tank tops or short sleeve shirts or long sleeve shirts in a pool because sometimes we don't need to see it. Thoughts, guys?
Listen, I'm a fat guy that will never wear a t-shirt in a pool. I am letting it all hang out. I don't give a fuck if it offends you or Ryan or anybody. I am comfortable with everybody should be fine in a pool to be shirtless. I think women included. No, I saw that, and it is funny because you wonder where, what I just want to know his reasoning. He's buff. I'm not being funny or probably not apt to sunburn. I'm just trying to figure out his thought process on it.
So when do you what is your level of leaving things to the imagination? Ryan, do you have good triceps? You cover up with a 3/4 length sleeve. Louis, good calf muscles. Do you wear capri pants? Tell me.
Ryan, is your internet okay? I see your
He's good.
Are you guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed some of that. So, what do I do to cover up my calf muscles?
Okay. So here's my question, Ryan.
Oh, let him answer that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You.
I do. All right. So I'll just say. So I'm a pants only golfer kind of guy. So I always wear golf pants at the golf course. So I don't know. Never have the calves out.
What childhood trauma have you suffered? Explain and go.
That relates to why I wear pants at the golf course. All right. I think I'm gonna just say I had to wear a school uniform, so maybe that's why.
That is. I mean, that's trauma. A good. Yeah, that's a good something.
I I wear yoga pants all year. I get it. Like no one can see my bare leg. I get it. I don't know why, but
I legit, I know I overshare. I'm so sorry. I went out today in like shorts with like without a zipper, like just kind of an opening and no underwear and a tank top. And I went to like the store. And I legit like there was times I saw somebody I knew at the store and I legit had to tell it was a female. I don't look down, please, because I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I go out. I'm very comfortable in my my jacked body, as one would say. No, I just I'm not embarrassed easily, I guess that's to say. I'm very comfortable in it. And I'm also very self-aware. I know that you don't want to look at it. You don't have to stare. But I'm more comfortable with less clothes on, I think.
I respect that.
My 4-year-old daughter is me. When she gets home, she legit, like, she gets up at the door and she strips off of her clothes immediately. So I think she got that from me. I do the same thing when this is hilarious because I legit I just had the minds or the thought process when I sat down. I swear to you, not joking, probably the first time in 6 months doing this podcast that I'm wearing bottoms. I'm so aware. I have done this podcast in underwear almost every week for the past 6 months. Because that's all I'm always ever.
Total sense why we see so much of your clock, because when you get up to like go do something or to grab whatever you need, like you always just like skirt away, and that's why I guess you've planned that out very well. Good for you.
You're a monster.
100%. I mean, you're a monster. I like to be comfortable.
Oh my god. Okay, so we actually gained listeners. Wow, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we finally said this is the first episode in 6 months he's born. This is my first episode not showing my clavicle, and Ryan is back to his non-internet room. So we are okay, so here's something interesting because we are all sport people, this is related. According to a new study, people who repeatedly post about their workouts on social media are more likely to have psychological problems. Any take on that? As someone who loves a good, hey, I'm on my bike, because I think it's also I think it's more accountability. I don't think it shows that I'm, maybe it is a me problem.
I don't know. I legit go both ways on it. And so because I was, every time I have my gym stint once a year for 3 weeks, I do it. It's just once a year, 3 weeks, and then it's done. And I have it, and I take a picture every day, and I have to show it. And the whole joke is, did you even go to the gym if you don't post it on social media? I get it. But I agree with you. I think that there's some accountability with it. I think 2, there's something to be proud of, even if you're only in there 3 weeks out of the year, like I am. It's better than not having them at all. So I think I get the study, and I think the study is probably more true than it is not. But don't we all kind of have some fucked up mental problems a little bit?
Yeah, and I think I'm sure the study, which was based out of London, Brunel University in London, they suggest that the posts are motivated by a desire for attention and validation from an online community. But what isn't? Social media is about marketing yourself. It's a you thing. It's like, so I don't understand when people hate on it, because like, why else? If you have a social media account, you then yourself are self-reliant on something. You're looking for something. What are you searching for? You're like, recipes? No, you're going to Google. So they're the problem. Ryan, how many posts do you do a day?
Not many. I don't have any problem with it though. I think I'm with you guys. There's listen, everyone is going to have different rules about their own rules about how much they're going to share, and everyone's different. So just let those people decide how much they want to share, and you do the same for yourself. That's how it works.
Awesome. And I have now one last thing for everything and nothing. I'm a big NBA fan. I do love the Knicks. And as we all know, this was the first time in 25 years that the New York Knicks have reached the playoffs. And the Knicks just announced that they are
not the playoffs, the final.
Eastern.
No, that's all right. I just wanted to, because I was like,
but they've gone beyond regular season, and the Knicks finally reached this massive accomplishment, and they fire their head coach. So here's what I want to say. This happens in every single sport, and I would like to get your opinion on it. My take is they finally found someone who's able to find the right players, and they're mixing and matching, and they got to a point. By the way, the teams they're playing right now, like Oklahoma is a tough team. They're like, you're in the final 6-8, and this is the best, and so they get there, and instead of giving someone one more year to like finally show, or 2 more years, they 86 the person. What's your take on this? Happens in football too, when someone is at the Super Bowl and they don't win, they get rid of the coach, or they're in the playoffs, they don't reach the Super Bowl, and they get rid of the coach. What's your take on this? And what's your take?
I mean, I think with any decision, there are human elements involved. So the relationship between Tom Thibodeau, who is definitely a brash, can be abrasive at times coach. I'm sure his personality is maybe similar. And I could imagine that maybe he just didn't get along with the GM. I also think that they may already have had their eyes on Mike Malone because he was fired by Denver, and that I thought was even more shocking than Thibodeau getting canned. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes they do it because they care more about what their players' opinions are of these coaches, and maybe they didn't, in exit interviews, he didn't get good reviews. So there's something else behind the scenes. You don't just like go to the Eastern Conference Finals and then say, oh yeah, well, we're ready to kick you to the curb, unless the players are off him or something else is going on.
Ryan, to your point of exit interviews, you are an NBA player making $18 million a year. Are you blaming yourself, or are you blaming everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough not to take accountability, to do that. But I think that's often the right thing. You can't always. A lot of times when you're asking, the media is asking questions, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, we let the coach down," but deep down, they may think he's the problem.
Yeah. Louis?
Yeah, I'll quickly, and so we move on. For the actual Thibodeau situation, the Knicks, like, as a Knicks fan, he mismanaged that team so bad. It was a very talented team. Again, Final Four, like, to your point, Allie, like, great. But in sports it's a business, and it's a cruel one, and we see it all the time, like you said. I'll tell you this. McDermott could go. I'll make it about the Bills, our team. McDermott could go to 2 more AFC Championships games and lose, and I would justify fire him in the next 2 years. And that's only because, hey, we're here, but what's the ultimate goal at the end of the day? And I think some teams move on too quickly, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's a lot easier firing the coach and then hiring somebody else than changing a whole roster. And it's just a lot harder because of contracts and stuff. So don't boo Louis.
That's right. That's right, everyone.
I've come around on McDermott very, very much so. I'm in his corner, but if he doesn't win a fucking Super Bowl before my next marriage, I did.
If anyone wants the 3 of our group chat, looks like anytime McDermott says anything weird, we get the offensive Ali Akbar.
That's all Ryan. That's not me. That's
Ryan
all,
loves it.
Yeah, Ryan
He
loves
loves
it.
that smirk.
Ryan has him as part of Al Qaeda for sure.
Right. Yes.
You guys are dead to me. You're dead to me. All right, everyone. I guess we'll talk football. Wah, wah. Here's the part of the podcast we talk football. So we are going to talk about how to crush your startup league. So we are going to do a startup draft strategy. This is where I'm going to ask you. This is the best three, right, guys? We're going to do that?
Yeah. We're gonna do.
So
We're gonna go ahead and do
your three best bits of advice on how to crush your startup. So Ryan's font looks cooler if you're watching. If you're listening, Ryan's font looks like a wild and crazy kid kind of thing. It's how to crush your startup. We're going to ask Ryan and Louie 3 different points, and we're going to get to it. So the first one up, I'm going to start with Ryan. Know your league scoring. Ryan, you want to talk about that?
Yes, I first need to talk about this font, though. It's just amazing that Louis makes this. Everything else on this page has that same paintbrush stroke looking font. And, even Louis' name does. And then he just gets to the all caps. He just, man. All right, we're revised font. Just it's coming in the future.
Also, if you want to know, Ryan's is like, know your league scoring. And Louis says, 500 ranked and stick with it. So you want to know.
So funny, but if I had to pronounce those fonts, you nailed it.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Ryan, and also I'm going to ask Ryan, go from your 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll move to Louis. So talk
all
about
right.
3.
I'll rip through mine. So the first one, I think, makes sense chronologically to do this, is to start by looking at what your scoring is in your league, not just, PPR versus non-PPR or, a tight end premium, super flex, roster spots, how many tight ends, how many wide receivers, how many bench spots, taxi spots, points for, passing first downs, weird bonuses. You have to make sure you really understand that, not because you can always predict perfectly which players are going to fit into those categories, but you can, using, past data, for example, a PPR league, you're going to favor certain players because they will benefit you more, in those scoring systems. So that is the first and for, most important thing, I think, is doing that. Second is my biggest draft strategy is to prioritize blue chips. And blue chips, it's a very vague term, I guess, but blue chips prospects to me are the first handful of each, of each guys at the at each position in Dynasty. So they're young. They typically were the first round picks. They're, receivers. You're talking Chase, Jefferson, Brian Thomas, Puka, those guys. So I want to get as many of those as I can. And so I'm not afraid to spend. And so in your own mind, you have to identify which of the ones you think you can get for the best market value. So maybe guys that you're higher on compared to market. And, for me, it's Genty, for example, in an auction, I'd be willing to pay up, even though he's pretty interesting. And then finally, I'm going to stay away from old guys. I just don't want to be in the position where I'm drafting at skill positions. I'm going to clarify guys where your shelf life is 1 to 2 years. And you're really I don't want to take on that expiring asset in a startup draft, unless it's like super, super late and I've gotten through all the rookies and it's like a ridiculous, 36 round draft or something where you do have to pull the bottom of the barrel. But not until then. I mean, really stay away from those guys, get the youth, take the upside shots on rookies that could turn into gold for you.
Ryan, who are some of your skill positions, players that you have on right now?
For which,
just guys that you're targeting, that he's targeting.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about a little bit about that after this, because that will be part of who's your idiot. I mean, but go ahead if you got.
So let's change the question then.
Yeah.
So what players that people tend to pick up for their skill positions that are 5-year veterans that you're very hesitant to add?
Well, one of the first guys I think of, at least in ADP value, he goes Derrick Henry. I have almost 0 shares of Derrick Henry in early best ball drafts, not because I don't think he's a good player. I've been wrong on this bet for so many years, but at some point you just have to dig in and keep making the bet, right? I mean, do it again. That's what I keep thinking. Can you do it again? I'm skeptical. And a lot of things broke his way last year. A lot of things could be different about the Ravens offense this year and then going forward. So yeah, I know he just re-signed. I'm still just Derrick Henry's a great example. I'm not taking him, and I'm certainly not taking him in a startup.
Okay, I was just going to say, you did mention best ball. I just want to make sure that you were clearly like avoiding him in Dynasty too.
Yes. I mean, the bottom's going to fall out at some point, and I just don't want to be left holding the bag. I mean, I just recently sold Tyreek Hill, another example, for George Pickens straight up, because I'd rather have a 26-year-old in an ascending offense, as a number 2 option, as opposed to a guy who's probably going to be done in 1 to 2 years.
I'm sorry to Derrick Henry, who is currently listening. I'm so sorry, Derrick.
He is. Before I go on to mine, I want to, just because I left it, I had one that was probably in my top 3 that I left off because I saw your number 2 and figured we could just have a little chat about it rather than me putting it in mine. Totally different. But I'm kind of different in a Dynasty startup. I want to trade back as much as possible and get picks, a bunch of picks in like rounds 5 through 10, compared to going after the blue chip guys and then wasting capital. I think both ways can work for sure. But just interesting that I almost was going to have one of my ways to crush the startup is almost the exact same thing, or the exact opposite thing. And then that just would be trade back, as much as possible to just compile a bunch of picks in like the 5 to 10 range and just having really strong depth. But, I'll go through my 3 things real quick. My first one is have a direction and stick with it. You might not know who you're going first round or second round based off of like how that falls. But once you decide that you're going young, or you're going win now, or you're going to build it for this team might be good in 2 years, but it's going to be good for 10, or, hey, I'm just going to build this as a win now team and I'll figure out the rest later. Have a direction. Don't get stuck in the middle. Do not have a middling team. It's the same thing as how we complained about the Bills for years, going 6-10 and 7-9, and then not getting a good draft pick because they were too good to like get a great guy. It's same type of thing. I think you got to really have a direction, stick with it. Number 2 is tier your rankings on players. I think this is extremely important. Like it, and I don't think I was really good at this for a really long time, and why you need to do this is it really gives you, I do a lot of 2 copy, 3 copy, 4 copy leagues, which are even, more exciting and more important to do this, because you can start seeing when your targets are going, you could try to move up. But specifically, tearing your rankings on players will let you know when it's a good time where you really need to move up and get that last guy on a tier, or you're in a position to move back because you have 10 wide receivers all ranked pretty much the same. So I think it's really important to have that, because now you're not just trading just to trade, because I think a lot of people get into these drafts and they're just trading just because it's fun to trade. If you stick with your tiers and know when to move up and down, I think it's a really important strategy. And then 3, maybe a little bit of a funny one here, but don't be that guy on message boards and shit. No one wants to deal with the idiot. No one wants, I don't want to hear about why you just sat on the clock for 4 hours because you were playing with your fucking kids. I don't care about your kids. I just fucking pick who you're going to pick and let's fucking move on. I don't need your excuses. And not for nothing, but you want to be likable to the other people in your league, because it's an important part of trading. There's certain guys that are just annoying in some of these leagues I'm in that I will never deal with. I will never make a deal because I got 13 other guys that are reasonable and not fucking horrible human beings that I can make offers with. And so just don't be that guy. Be normal and be likable, I will say.
I love that idea. And I also love the idea of, if you are going to trade with someone, you're basically giving someone one of your investments. So if you're the guy that's the jerk, no one wants to play with you. We're in it for your money. That's all it is. Okay. So stop being a guy. Stop it. Be nice.
Man.
We all have day jobs. We're tired.
I mean, another thing. I mean, I'm just like airing out like dirty laundry of these leagues I'm in, but like also like don't send out when you're like, oh hey, is anybody interested in this pick, and you don't get one offer. Don't sit on the fucking clock for 10 hours and send out offers to every single person in the league because you think that they didn't see the fucking message. We got it. We don't want your pick. Just fucking pick, move on, and let us go, and then go play with your stupid kids. Sorry, yes. I have a stupid kid.
Also, too. If you're sending me a DM, I don't read DMs because I have a life. I have a life that I enjoy. So don't be mean when I don't respond to you because I don't have you. And you're in a general thing. You're not my primary. Anyway, ladies, am I right? Oh, I got some people that like flip out on me. And I'm like, you're not my friend. So be nice. You're a stranger. Why am I helping you out with anything when you're being mean to me? Period. Anyway. Ugh.
We got Allie started.
Elevated.
3 rings. Allie 3 rings. I'm gonna start calling you Allie 3 rings.
3 rings. So let's do one of our favorite topics. Who's the idiot? This is where we discuss. We have 3 questions. 2 are sport related, and 1 is a wild card from me, which could be sport related or not. And Ryan and Louie have to convince me that they are correct. Okay. So we are going to do, we're going to talk about little veteran issues, right? Is that what we're doing? We're going to do veterans?
Yeah. Late round veterans.
I feel like we're going to do veterans right now. So, because, there's not much to talk about preseason. So let's do this. We're going to do late round veterans worth the pick of a win now team at each position. So you're going to talk about quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. That's late round veteran worth the pick of a win now team at each position. So who do I want to go first? Who looks more exciting? I'm going to go Ryan right now so his internet doesn't go out. Ryan.
Okay. Yes, always good to go with me when I'm being heard. Yes, great decision. All right, I'm going to start with quarterback. I'm going to go Anthony Richardson. I do not understand the hate. Listen, I think he's going to rise in ADP throughout the summer. I think he's worthwhile to take a shot on. I mean, he's a Russian quarterback. I love the profile. You can get him dirt cheap right now. So I love Anthony Richardson. He's going super late. Next is for running back, I'm going to go Jalen Wright. Now, this is, again, just a second-year player, but technically a veteran. And he's being completely forgotten about. He's the second option in the Dolphins running game. So, definitely want him. At wide receiver, I'm going to go Roman Wilson. His first year was a total red shirt, but man, Chris Sims was huge on him, and he's proven to be pretty good about scouting wide receivers. So I'm interested in Roman Wilson on the Steelers. And then finally at tight end, I'll go with a legit old guy, veteran, Juwan Johnson. It's just an opportunity play. I mean, he's got maybe one more year at the position and a lot of targets. He had 66 last year. So those are my picks.
I know we have some timer constraints, but can I ask you one question and follow up on the Roman Wilson? Because I love that. Gabe Davis going to the Steelers, that lessen your feelings on Wilson? Does it excite you at all about Gabe Davis, or is he dead, you think?
No, Gabe is dead to me. Roman Wilson excitement is independent of anyone else. So yeah, I'm expecting just him to start taking it, to take a step and potentially be the number 2 option in their passing game.
All right. I'll go with my 4 here. I want to just again respond to you once. I have it on. There's a person that I'm very comfortable with them never lying to me or everything. Most of the things that they've said, that's right. I think Daniel Jones has the inside track. That's not what I don't agree with that. I'm very invested in Anthony Richardson. I am told that Daniel Jones has the inside track on that job, and I've been drafting that way because I'm pretty confident in this guy's opinion. But I'll just put that out there. Don't come back and yell at me when you say, because I want Anthony Richardson to be the guy. I'm with you, Rye. Okay. My guys, real quick, quarterback. Do I got to say it? Kenny Pickett. I mean, I think this guy is a super big value right now. I think he starts the most game for the Cleveland Browns this year. And if he doesn't start for the Cleveland Browns, he's starting for the New Orleans Saints. And I still will go with that he might get traded late.
Listen, I have 0 shares of Kenny Pickett because I'm a smart fantasy football player. But if I did have any shares, I would love to sell them to you right now, Louis. I would sell them so hard.
I'm telling you, I've been screaming his good his praises in my leagues, and then people are trying to take advantage of me now. I'm not saying now people are sending offers like for an early third for him. One guy sent me 2/3, I think, the other day. Listen, I'm not saying that he's worth so much, but if I could get him cheap and late, I think he's got an opportunity to start some games this year. And I don't think he's a dead asset. Go ahead. Running back. With running back, I know this is just a second-year guy, so when I say veteran, it's a little bit liberal here, but non-rookie, I'll say. Tyrone Tracy, I think, has really – his value is lessened so much. I mean, we're just going to draft a white running back, and everyone's just going to assume that that's the new guy. I'm not there. Tyrone Tracy went from a steal as, a late second, third rounder last year in rookie drafts to – providing you much more value, and then they draft another guy, which whatever, but then he shoots back down. I would love to get him for a third rounder right now in a rookie draft, and I still expect him to be 50-50 share at least this year. Wide receiver, call it a homer pick. I like Elijah Moore, man. I just have a feeling that he is going to have a big role in this Bills offense. You heard Trey White talking about him yesterday and just how explosive and great he is on the practice field. I've always liked the player. All you need to do is build a rapport with Josh, and you could be, you could go to the moon. I like buying Elijah Moore you could buy him for a late third right now, probably. And then
Elijah Moore was not invited to the wedding.
but it was he doesn't even know him yet. And then tight end, I'm going Chig here. And I think a lot of people looked at the Gunnar Helm thing and at the end of the days of Chig. Listen, this was my Dalton Schultz argument 2 years ago that you shit on that ended up being okay. Was a rookie quarterback's going to look to his tight end quite often as a safety valve. They don't really have much else there. And I don't think Gunnar Helm's a 4th round tight end. He's not just going to come in and beat Chig for the job. So I think he's a great value right now in some of these tight end premium leagues. All right,
I
Allie,
love the Elijah Moore is an interesting pick. I think I'm going to say this. I think I hate doing this stuff. Ryan, you picked very solid people that I think have stats to kind of prove that they will do what they have to do. You said, Jalen Wright, Wilson, Johnson, Richardson. Those are all those are proven people. Louis is like, hey, I like the name Tyrone. So let me Kenny Pickens. I think that's I just think these are very Ryan is my safe pick for this week for that. That's my my safe pick.
All right. So I'm the idiot.
I like where you're going. I'm not I don't think but I don't think you're an idiot. Okay. You're not an idiot. It's like
okay. Ryan, we could just say Ryan's up 1-0. You don't have to call me an idiot yet. Maybe I come back. But you gotta call somebody an idiot after calling somebody an idiot after 3 rounds. All right, round 2.
An idiot.
Round 2.
Ryan has very good safe picks.
Louis, Ryan's in the lead.
Okay. All right, yes. Okay, so now we're gonna go. I hate this. I hate this, dude.
I love how uncomfortable you are to just call one of us an idiot. We call you an idiot every day behind your back. We have our own chat.
That's very nice. If you are an auditory listener, I'm literally pulling my eyelashes out as this
It's so uncomfortable
segment goes on. I hate it. Okay,
all right.
So next we're going to go rookies best built for win now teams at each position. So we're going to again go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Let's go safe bet Ryan again. I like Ryan's safe choices. Ryan?
All right. So my first pick at quarterback for a late round sleeper rookie, I'm going to go Jackson Dart. Is that fine? Or is that enough of a sleeper given how late he's going, or is he too cash?
I like it.
I think it's fine. I mean, honestly, I think anybody works here besides Cam Ward because no one's just coming into a starting role. But and it's really tough to look at anybody else at the quarterback. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
I have two guys for it, and I presume you're going to pick the other guy. So
I would assume, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll give the case for Jackson Dart. He is in an exciting offense in the sense that he has Malik Neighbors and some decent pieces. And hopefully if Dable is going to be coaching for his job, he's going to be letting it all hang out. So I might expect that he could potentially just come into a position right away. I mean, if you're right now betting like who's starting by week 8, I'm saying it's got to be Jackson Dart. So like you're getting half the season of him starting plus the future. If he's good, I'm in on that. For my next pick at running back, I'm going to go Taj Brooks. He is free almost everywhere. And he is right now, I expect the RB2 in Cincinnati. I mean, it's an offense that we absolutely love. We love the running production from Chase Brown. And Chase Brown is not some long established vet starter. He had one good year where there was some flashes. That's it. So hell yeah, get me, free Taj Brooks all day. My pick at wide receiver is Jalen Noel. I don't know why he's falling in best ball drafts right now, too. Even on a dynasty level, though, we are talking about an offense in Houston that has shown that they want to use 3 receivers at all times. So, like, why are we not interested in potentially the tank out? Right. And why are we not interested?
So my answer is Christian Kirk.
Why
Noel is getting shot down for this year. I think he's 4th on the totem pole, and that's why. But I'm not fighting your argument because it could very easily be him instead of any of those top. Not Nico, but it could be him instead of Higgins. It could be him instead of Kirk. So go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Right, exactly, and that's the thing. I do just expect that because Noel is, he got drafted just behind Higgins too. It's not like he was rounds and rounds later. So I love the upside of Noel. And then finally at tight end, I'm going to go Mason Taylor. He is it,
I love it. I just don't think it's much of a sleeper. I think it's a pretty obvious thing, but make your point because I totally agree. So make it.
So I've been seeing Taylor get dinged, I think, a bit just because of the Jets, right? And it's Justin Fields. And I've made the case on this very show before about having some caution about the Jets, receivers and production. But I love the outlook of this guy going forward. Who knows who the future is going to, be at quarterback for the Jets, but he's locked in as a 2nd round pick. I love Mason Taylor. So that's my pick.
I'm on record, maybe not on this podcast, but in a lot of other areas. So I'll say it on this podcast now. Mason Taylor outscores at least one of Loveland or Warren this year. I'm not going to sit there and say that he's the better prospect or he'll be better long-term. This year, I think he's in a better spot than both of them kind of, but I think he at least outscores one of the two. I think they're both exceptional talents. I'll blow through mine. My quarterback, Shaw, from the Saints. I would imagine that was the other guy you were thinking. I just think he's got them. Wait. Oh, really? No, who was the other guy you were thinking? Yeah.
Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. I just don't think Milroe starts games this year.
Oh, and that's
tough. Do you? I like Sam Darnold. So I just think Sam Darnold ends up winning it. I love Milroe. Trust me, I love the player. I have found myself not being able to draft him on win now teams where I need a quarterback because I don't think he starts games this year. If I have a win now team with Darnold, I've picked him as much as I could to just, make sure that I have that Seahawks quarterback no matter what. But yeah, I'm going to bet on Darnold a little bit. But anyway, show is I just think he ends up probably, if they don't trade for Kenny Pickett, he ends up starting the most game for the Saints. Jaden Blue's my running back. Cowboys. I think he, out of all the running backs, maybe even now Harvey looks like in Denver, he might have J.K. Dobbins coming in. That was a meeting tonight. That would really suck as much as I love Harvey. And then now you're talking about a 25-year-old Harvey pushing back a year because Dobbins comes in. Like now he's 20. I hate that. I hope it doesn't happen. But anyways, Jaden Blue, I think, is in a great spot to really demand carries in Dallas. Jaden Higgins is my wide receiver, the other Texans guy. So you mentioned Noel. I'm just going to bet Higgins. I think Higgins could very easily. I love Tet, and I think Tet's going to really do well in Carolina. But I think Jaden Higgins could easily be the number one rookie wide receiver this year, and I wouldn't be shocked. And my tight ends are Rondé Gadsden. I know I've been pumping him up here a lot on the podcast and everywhere else. But man, you just go. Just anybody that doesn't. One, me. I've always said this on the podcast, pedigree. Like father was a good player. Dude's a monster. Excellent hands. He's 6'5". Everyone says he can't block, so he won't get a lot of snaps. He didn't have to block in college. He was always lined up in the slot. He hardly blocked, so we don't even know if he could block. Dude's a monster. I think he's going to be absolutely amazing. And if you have any trepidation about listening to me, go watch the video of John Harbaugh when he called him, when he drafted him, and see how excited he was to get him and how he told him, like, listen, we have plans for you immediately. Like, fucking, let's go. I'm all aboard the Rondé Gadsden trade. Okay.
Well, yeah, because that's what normally he said. He would tell prospects, he'd be like, "Yeah, we really don't know what we would do with you." Honestly, I
get the counterpoint to that, but you watch the video, you'll fucking fall in love too. Okay. Sorry, Allie. Third question.
All right. I'm going to just say this. I'm so in on Sam Darnold in Seattle, and I loved him at the Vikings. I just think he is underrepresented in a lot of leagues anyway. So, okay. So let's talk third question. Saquon Barkley is on the Madden 2026 cover, guys, as we all know. Okay. So what do we think is going to be the record of Philly, and how bad is Philly going to be? What does this look like for him this season? Louis, you go first. I feel like
you're saying because of the Madden curse. The Madden curse it's been lessening, right? Like didn't Josh win the MVP? No, he was it 2 years ago, or did he win the MVP last year? Was he the cover last year?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay,
but here's what I will say though is one, obviously we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, but we can't break the curse, and what, and also add this to your response if you deem necessary. If you were an NFL, if you were working at EA Sports, are you intentionally picking a player that you want to ruin? That's a better question.
I think legit 4 or 5 years ago when this thing was really every year it happened, I think there was probably, I'm not even saying this facetiously, there was probably real fear in players accepting the thing. Yeah. Right? If you're superstitious, you're like, no, I don't need that fucking $100K that much or whatever. Whatever that money is. No, I'm gonna just avoid that curse. Now, like I said, the last 3-4 years, I think it's been curse free. The most impressive thing about I think the Eagles are gonna be fine, and I think Saquon's got another good year in him. But the most impressive thing about the Madden cover thing, I don't know if you've seen it. So he on the cover, he's going to be doing that move where he jumps backwards over the guys, and they had to film it in the Madden thing. If you watch that video, that dude floated in the air somehow. I don't know how he jumps that high, but it is amazing. And
It's because he's on cables, dude. He is on
no,
cables.
dude, he is
Yes.
not on cables on that one, man. I'm
Dude,
telling
are you talking about the promo that they're just talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, dude. There's like another video of it where they show like the
Damn.
cable work and everything. Yeah, it's not real. Come on. The general rule of thumb is if it looks or seems too good to be true, it probably is. So
yeah, I don't ever follow. Is wrestling real? I don't ever follow that rule. I always just believe everything. I'm gullible like my grandmother.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I think we covered it. I do think that the Eagles are, a fine football team. I mean, they're probably 12-5. I'm guessing. I'm not crazy about them. And I do think that Saquon is going to be harmed by this curse. He's on streams with Aiden Ross. Like, what is he doing? He's got some bad vibes going out right now. So I don't know. Maybe it's karma or something. I don't know. But
Ryan, if you were a sassy little jerk, who would you put on for this year's Madden cover? If you believe the curse was real.
Oh, Pat Mahomes, easy. I mean,
okay, and then that's a great pick.
Every year, I would just put him on every year.
Every year, yeah.
Great, I have that.
That's a great pick.
I'd put my mom on. I would want her to go and just pay back some of the misery that she's put of it. It's like, Mom,
I love the idea of somebody going to GameStop and like being like, "Oh, I pre-ordered the Madden," and they hand over the copy. It's Louis' mom on the cover.
She's been like gabagoo, and you're like, "What?" I don't even get it.
I love that. That's the voice. That was very racist of you. I just love that.
Okay, let's go back to. I'm sorry. I'll go to Louis Font.
Wait, quickly before we blow through our draft, because we're running out of time. Before we blow through our draft, you call one of us an idiot. Quick,
Louis, you're the idiot.
Fuck. I knew I shouldn't have pushed you. All right, fine. All right, tell us what we're drafting.
Okay, we are gonna draft this week the best dynasties. Let's just do anything and everything dynasties, and let's have fun.
Let's do it.
And we do not talk sports on this
Dynasty
one.
startup, and then we're gonna do best dynasties. They don't all have to be dynasties. All right, here we are. Sports. All right, I'm doing the order. All right, I'm number 1. Ellie's number 2. Ryan number 3. And with the number 1 pick in best dynasties draft, I'm going Duck Dynasty. I think that's the number 1 obvious one, maybe. I don't know, but Duck Dynasty, fun show, belonged on this list. I'm going 1. Allie.
Okay, so mine is whenever someone says that, like, who is your top 5 people you would love to have dinner with if you could, it always involves one of these people, and it's the Manning dynasty. I love Archie. Ooh. Give me Peyton, give me Eli. That's and new to the dynasty, I feel like she's a little sister is Caitlin Clark. I feel like she kind of looks like a Manning. Like she's just.
She does have the forehead.
She's so good.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a Manning dynasty is great. That's a good one.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan for 2.
All right. I can't believe you guys left this one for me. Just a total juggernaut. I'm going to go with the Roman Empire. I mean, how could you not? Right. I mean, that's
it's on our list.
We're talking much bigger than these previous 2 picks here. And then I was trying to come up with what I would imagine is the best sports dynasty, and I have to admit it's probably the Patriots. So I'm going to say, I mean, that was like almost like 20 years of just absolute dominance. So I am, it's very fitting. The Roman Empire and the Patriots kind of like good bookends.
Great picks, Ryan. So my pick comes from my background. So I foolishly got a degree in early modern European history. It's gotten me very far in life.
I almost blurted something up.
Parents didn't say, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I was like, "Well, maybe a lawyer." And they're like, "You're not gonna." And I'm like, "Maybe I'm gonna be good at bar trivia." And they're like, "You." So Long live so the big beautiful area of early modern European history is the Tudor Stuart Europe. So the Tudor Europe is from 1485 to obviously 1603, which started with the Battle of Bosworth and ended with the War of the Roses. So Henry VII up to Elizabeth I, and it is so beautiful and lovely. And if you ever find me out in public and you want to talk about the Henry VIII, the Stuarts, the Tudors, and it is the most magical part of history. And I go to Europe every year now to just study it. And it makes, it makes me so happy and I can't even handle it.
I can't wait until someone comes up to you at the park and is like, "Hey, can we talk about those?" You said it on the podcast.
Yes.
We're gonna sit down on this bench and talk about it.
I will talk about it. I will talk about. You guys. You don't like the lockets of I've gone to the castles and a weird thing where I went to where Elizabeth I had her honeymoon. I am so in on it. I did the Tower of London. There's new crows.
We get it. You're rich now. Fine. I'm sorry that you're so rich.
Wait, baby.
I didn't realize you were getting bonuses for every championship.
Okay, anyway, so go on. Louis, who's your number 2?
I'm going to funny that you said that with that accent, because my number 2 is the Corleone dynasty from Godfather. I think that is a great one to have. And then I'm going to do one more non-sports one. I'll probably finish up with a sports one to be boring. But this one, the Night King dynasty from Game of Thrones. The Night Kings ruled the world for I don't know what the years were, but I think they were supposed to be thousands of years before BC, and then I don't know. I don't know if Game of Thrones recognized Jesus, but if they did, it was way before him. So the Night King dynasty. Yeah, go ahead. I thought it was a World War II documentary until the dragons came out. So I literally watched it for 2 seasons. Was like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Go ahead.
Okay. The fictional TV show Game of Thrones. Louis wants to know, was Jesus involved? Pretty fun. Okay, so anyway, not to get political, but okay. I'm gonna go the OG Dynasty, the TV show Dynasty. Let's do that. Everyone's parents loved it, and okay.
There's a remake on Netflix, I think.
Yes, it came out in 2017, and didn't watch it, but I like OG. And I love the guy from I Dream of Jeannie. He's in it, and yeah. Anyway, Dynasty.
All right. I can't believe the second best sports dynasty is still available for me, so I'm going to go with the Jordan Bulls.
I almost did it.
That's where I would have ended.
Yep. And then I'm going to pick something that nobody else is going to draft here. Maybe Louis, definitely not Allie. It is a computer game that I used to play growing up as a kid. Age of Empires. Did you guys ever play that?
No.
Oh my God, that game is so good. I know I am nerd now, but man, that game was so much fun. You can play as the Mongols, you can play as anybody, and then you can build your town. It's amazing. It's so cool. I might play it tonight. I might actually have to just go get it and play it.
Shout out to Chanel, who will not be having any cuddles.
Chanel is sleeping. Yes, she is already sleeping.
I was going to say, Allie just dried all out. Go ahead.
Speaking of dry, what's the deal with the Habsburgs? My number pick. The Habsburgs dynasty, everyone. What's the deal with Otto the second? And if you like the 1700s like I do, not as much as I like 1400s and 1500s, it's a great fun thing. They combined Austria, and it was just a very cool part of history, because it was one of the kings shouldn't have procreated, if you know what I'm saying. And if you ever look, the chin goes out to like this. It's like it's a mess. What a mess of a dynasty, but so influential in Europe, and really kind of gave us Austria-Hungary, and it just really just made Europe part of this massive superpower in the Industrial Revolution. Okay.
Man, remind me never to bring up history to you ever again, or give you an opportunity to talk about history, because man, are you nerdy.
Charles V. Who wants to talk about Charles?
Okay. I left you the opportunity for 4 rounds, and I felt like you should have been the one. But if you're not going to be, I'm going to close this out with the Buffalo Bandits, and they
I had that on my list. I should have done.
They just ended. I mean, they're in the middle of a dynasty. I'm going to take them. I'm going to play to the crowd. I know we got a lot of local listeners, and maybe I'll send that video to them and for my interview for the in-game announcer.
Louis, name 5 players on the Buffalo Bandits. Go.
Is that one dude whose house? Steakhouse or whatever. Is he still there?
Steakhouse.
Is he still there? Is he still there?
No, he stopped in 94. So
okay. All right, cool. I remember that being really
whose
cool.
House Steakhouse, he said. He just said Jim's Steakhouse if you're interested.
Whose house?
Sponsoring us.
Yeah.
That's good though. That's very good.
Awesome. That was good. See, we were like, everyone's like, oh, the dynasties are going to be hard. Then that was one of our funniest ones. So look at that.
Look at us. Like everyone, Ryan will be this week's winner, and we can't wait to see. Like and subscribe, everyone. We do a fun on X. You can vote who is your favorite on this, or comment on our YouTube, or don't DM me and be mean about it, but be mean to Louis and tell who you pick. But thank you so much for listening, everyone. If there's anything you want us to kind of talk about or discuss or have as a draft, please send us a message. We would love to get your ideas. But thank you for listening to Analytics for the Nerds. Have a good week, and happy National Cheese Day to all you Wisconsin folks. So have a good one. See you next week.